Okay, so we are live. We're gonna go ahead and get started. Happy Monday, everyone. I know it's the start of a new week. Happy Monday. Um, we are doing a Black business highlight today. My name is Fadi. I'm the CEO and founder of Black Women of Arizona. Today, we're going to be talking to Gina Smith. We're going to be learning about her business and learning a little bit about herself in general and to see how we can support this local Black business in our community. So I'm going to be posting her information in the comments if you want to connect with her after our live stream. But if you have any questions while we're on here, be sure to put them in the comments and we will be sure to get to them while we're on here. So, Gina, I'm going to give you the floor. Introduce yourself, let us know who you are, and tell us about your business.
Okay, my name is Gina Smith. I am a coach, a trusted advisor, a friend, a sister, a daughter, a cyclist, an athlete, an art lover, a food lover, a lover of life. And I moved here to Phoenix, Arizona almost a year ago, November 1st. So we're almost on that anniversary of me moving here
Mm-hmm.
after completing a corporate career. And I am in the process of building my coaching practice. So I help people make change in their lives through my business, Gina Smith Coaching and Advisory Services. I help people see that they can create a life they want, that they can stop burning themselves out, they can stop killing themselves for work, they can start looking at life as a whole picture and create a holistic life that they would love to live and can endure success long into the future.
Okay, perfect. So let's talk about what what journey led you to starting this specific business. What's your why for starting this brand?
Okay, I've I've always I actually have been given a legacy from my grandparents to serve, and
Mm-hmm.
that's been part of my life, all of my life. Throughout my career in corporate America, I've been in many leadership roles, and I always took the approach of leading people, the approach of coaching to
Mm-hmm.
lead people. And I'd rather have a person end up being better after their association with me to learn to do things to change for themselves. Um, but I was killing myself for work at one point. I was working so many hours. I was traveling extensively. I was working on vacation. I was working at night. I was getting very little sleep, wasn't taking care of my health. And I justified it because I got paid a lot of money. I
Mm-hmm.
was in medical sales. It's a field where you can make a significant income.
Mm-hmm.
So every time I would look at my life and say, why are you working like this? I'd get a commission check or whatever and go, okay, for that, it's all right to do this to myself.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really not, I learned that that's really not true. I worked and worked and worked. The company I was with at the time encouraged people to move around amongst the divisions to get other experience. And I took a chance to do that and moved from a division I'd been a part of for a long time to another division and took a job. And after, I don't think I was in the job a year and a half, when the company decided to split and sell that division off. And all of a sudden, there went my job. And it was a real moment of clarity for me
Mm-hmm.
because I realized you can work yourself to death. And with the stroke of a pen, it's,
Right.
and I'd been ignoring my health. I'd been ignoring relationships. I'd been ignoring even just, letting myself have fun, going on vacation with my computer and my phone, you know, sneaking off to work while I should have been out enjoying myself, not doing things with friends or family when they'd ask me, because my reply would be, I can't, I got to work. I can't, I got to
Mm-hmm.
work. Um, and, work became this central point in my life. So having this pause happen to me helped me step back and realize you're not taking care of your health. You're always even just canceling the doctor's appointments you have. I spent a month catching up on all these doctor's appointments I missed. I spent a month
Mm-hmm.
catching up on sleep. Um, I spent time, just reconnecting with people that I never had time to go to lunch with or never had time to see in other ways while I was working so hard. And it just turned on a light bulb with me. I really began to change my own life. I really made a commitment to now you're going to work on your health, but whenever you get the next job, you're still going to keep that as part of your life. It's not going to
Right.
be like, oh, now I got the new job, no more working on my health. But it's like, no, this is a lifestyle you're going to develop for yourself. Healthy nutrition, healthy movement and exercise, getting the right amount of sleep. I was operating for years on 4 to 5 hours of sleep, which is just very inadequate for even being able to
Right.
think, being able to think straight, let alone someone who had to travel and drive a lot and being, traveling on air travel a lot. And I really, you know, recreated how I was living and put work in its proper place. Yes, it's an important part of life.
Right.
Most of us, if we haven't started businesses early, now I think this is a great time because so many people can start businesses. But most of us depend on employment to pay our
Right.
bills, to support
Mhm.
ourselves and our families. So I just really put work in its place. And then when I got the next job, then I took my lifestyle with me. Yeah, I don't work on vacations. Yeah, I'm going to take every day of my time off. Yes. Oh, I have a doctor's appointment that's blocked out in my calendar. And sorry, I can't do your meeting.
Mhm.
And taking the time to learn to do things like meditation, like writing, journaling, writing, however you'd like to call that, like even just reading for pleasure and for growth, doing things like becoming involved with Black Women of Arizona, a social and business group where you meet other people and meet people you develop relationships, cycling and traveling. So I started doing all the things I loved and my job, and I was
Mhm.
very successful. So
Right.
we start to believe that in order to be successful, I have to kill myself.
Right. Right. Right.
I have to say yes to everything they ask me to do. You know, I have to like let my kids down, on their birthday or whatever, because I got to
Right.
work. And none of that's really not true. And I also, set a lot of boundaries with my job. And
Mhm.
people often don't think about that because they act like the job owns you, right?
Right. And I want to chime in a little bit because I kind of want to get your opinion on this because I think part of the issue with women when we're in those types of roles, do you feel like maybe it's a component of a little bit of guilt because you're in a high achieving position, you're making a good amount of money, so you feel sort of guilty for wanting to set the boundaries because you realize maybe you're not taking care of your health, maybe your relationships are suffering because of this job, but you feel guilty about standing, not only creating those boundaries but enforcing them because we should be grateful that we're in this position to begin with, so how dare we say that we want time to ourselves? What do you think is part of the reason why we approach those types of situations in that way?
I mean, you hit the nail on the head. I think part of the reason why is we think we're indispensable,
Mm-hmm.
and we think we're lucky. I
Mm,
ended up having a career that I never imagined.
right.
I ended up having compensation that I never imagined.
Mm-hmm.
So you start to feel like, well, I don't want to mess this up. I don't want to give this
Right.
up. I have this. So I have to do everything required of me and then some
Right.
to be in this space, as opposed to sitting back and saying, I earned this,
Right. Right.
deserve this, and I don't have to kill myself for it.
So let me ask you if, because we both know that you're not the only one who's been in that situation, right?
Right.
So I want to ask you, for someone who's watching now or who's going to watch the replay and they can relate to what you were going through, what would you say would be a good first step? Because we understand that, those things, it takes time, right? You're not going to wake up tomorrow and start all of these things. So what would be your word of advice as far as that the first step that they need to take in order to start prioritizing themselves in their lives?
I think the first step with everything is you have to make a decision. So you have to decide for yourself that
Mm-hmm.
you are worth it. And you are worth it. You are worth, people are eating their meals at their desk because they have so much work they can't or they won't take a break.
Mm-hmm.
People are eating their meals in their car because they won't take a break. A first step could be saying, you know what? I deserve to eat a meal in peace.
Right.
Even if it seems like a really small thing,
Mm-hmm.
but even if I'm going to put 30 minutes in my calendar where nobody can bother me, and I'm going to leave this desk where I work,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm going to go to another place somewhere. A lot of
Right.
people work at home now, go to your kitchen or if you're in an office, go to the cafeteria or something. And I'm going to sit down and actually eat my meal.
Mm.
I mean, it's one little thing.
Right. Right.
It seems insignificant, but it's a way you're caring for yourself.
Right.
Versus, I'm going to bring my Tupperware, heat it up in the microwave, and come back and sit in front of my computer and do as many emails as I can while I'm eating my meal.
Right. And you know what? That's a piece of advice that I can take myself, because I do the same thing. I come in here, I heat up my food, I come in here and I eat at my desk. So that's why I said it. I know that you're not the only one who has gone through that. And so I think a lot of women, they realize they see and understand the importance of it, but they're not really sure how to start. So that's gonna be the takeaway that I get today, is stepping out of the office and actually eating at the table.
Yeah.
I can't tell you the last time I've actually sat at the dinner table to actually eat. I'm always either in here or I'm snacking a lot because I don't, it's so much going on. I'm like, I have to do this, I have to do that. And that's going to be my my takeaway for today.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for that. So Gina, I want to ask you, as um, we talk about coaching. A lot of people, there's a lot of coaches out there nowadays, right? There's a coach for literally everything. But I want to ask you specifically for the support that you provide to your clients. What are some common misconceptions or things that people don't necessarily, or even I guess we could say like a myth, but what are some things that people don't really know when it comes to what a coach actually does, or what it is that you do specifically?
Okay. Yeah, I think that's a good question because I think there's a million coaches now
Mm-hmm.
because there's no standard for declaring yourself a coach. So there are people in the industry who have actually studied and worked and built up the hours to do a really great job. And then
Mm-hmm.
there are people who, because their friends call them for help, go, I think I'll be a coach.
Right.
And I'll go back to my first experience of coaching. It was after I was divorced about 10 years ago, and I really wanted to redesign my life.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to not make mistakes of the past.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to just I have this whole, you know, life in front of me that I have the freedom to design to be the way I want it to be. And someone recommended me to work with a coach.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd been an athlete a lot of my life, so I'd worked with that kind of coach, but I'd
Mm-hmm.
never worked with a personal coach. And what I learned from that, it was a partnership. My coach didn't tell me what to do. She listened.
Right.
Then she had tools or resources who said, this could be a tool or resource that would help you get through this, or let's use this tool or resource to get to the bottom of this issue or to redesign this issue. So in the same way, um, I've been coaching people a lot for a long time as part
Mm-hmm.
of the work I've done. And as part of my work as a leader, I always took an approach of coaching versus managing, which I think are two different things.
Mm-hmm.
And when I decided that I wanted to do something else after my corporate career, I got certified to coach. I have two
Mm-hmm.
certifications to coach, as well as a master's degree in human relations. And my approach to my clients is we're in a partnership. I'm serving you. I'm serving you with truth. I'm serving you with love and kindness and respect, because that's what I ask people to bring into the room when they come into the room with me.
Mm-hmm.
Um, my biggest job is to listen. It is to listen to what you're saying,
Mm-hmm.
and it's to listen to what you're not saying, because
Right.
what you're not saying is really more important than what you're saying. Because
Right.
we start out and we don't really quite get to the truth, because we don't want the person across from us to think badly of us if they really know the real truth.
Mm-hmm.
So
And
it's
it's really sort of like a moment of vulnerability as well, because you have to be willing to open up and let that person see you in your most vulnerable state. And I think a lot of women struggle with that, and I struggled with that as well before I went into my first coach. Because when we think about the roles that women play, we're the doers, we're the
Mhm.
supporters, we're the problem solvers, we're the go-to person for everything, right? And so for you to kind of step down from that position and be like, this is what's going on, it it's hard.
it's
It's
no,
hard.
it's hard, but getting to the truth is part of getting to a solution for what you want to create.
Right.
It's I have lots of tools
Mm-hmm.
that as we're going along and a person encounters an issue, I don't do the work.
Mm-hmm.
The person I'm working with does the work and has to be willing to do the work.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to create change in your life, it's going to be work, and some of it's hard, and some of
Mm-hmm.
it's painful, and
Right.
some of it's unpleasant. And
Yeah.
that's the truth. It's not like sunshine and rainbows all the time. And sometimes I might have to be really hard with you. Sometimes I might, a person I know goes, I might have to punch you in the throat. But I try not to go there unless it's really necessary. But
Yeah.
sometimes people won't hear until that happens. But it really is a partnership of me understanding what is it you want to do? What is it you want to create? What is it you want to change or make better? I think a misconception is that people have to be train wrecks to have coaching. And
Mm-hmm.
that's not true. I went to a coach. I wasn't a train wreck. Even after divorce, I wasn't a train wreck, but I wanted to enhance my life. So I think you even if you're doing great, a coach can help you be even better.
Right.
And that's one of the misconceptions people have, because a lot of coaching you see, if you think of popular figures,
Mm-hmm.
we see Tony Robbins, everybody knows who that is. He's a really kind of high energetic, harsh guy when he coaches. You see Ilyana, who
Mm-hmm.
is typically coaching people, and she's a wonderful coach, but
Mm-hmm.
about personal and family problems. And you see them on television. So,
Mm-hmm.
it's real and it's scripted. But
Mm-hmm.
most people don't see a real coach in action because it's all private. So
Right.
coaching has so many forms. I don't have, some coaches are trained on here's my 12-step program to success or whatever. And I
Mm-hmm.
don't work with people that way. What I do is listen to you. It starts with a conversation and a relationship. Let's let's listen to each other.
Right.
You're going to tell me what you want. I want to know if I can help you with that. That's the first invitation. Can I help you with that? If you
Right.
think so, let's have a coaching conversation so you can see how I coach, see if that's a style or an approach that works for you. And then after I have and that might be one or two conversations, after I have an understanding of that, here's how I think I can serve you. Would you like to do that?
Mm-hmm.
And so I think it's, really it is that partnership. It is that honesty and transparency. It's a willingness to actually take action on the things that are going to create change for you, because nothing happens without people taking action.
Right. I'm glad you brought that up because I think one another misconception when it comes to people hiring coaches, whether whatever type of support, whether it is to get to your first six figures or to start prioritizing your self care, a lot of people think that okay, I'm gonna sign up for this program, invest into this program. They're going to give me the blueprint and everything's going to be okay within this next 6 weeks. But there has to be a level of accountability there, right?
Right.
Because if you're not, if you're hiring me to help you and I'm giving you the information to help, but you're not taking action, you're not making a decision on the information that you now have access to, has anything really changed for you?
Yeah. If you're not showing up, I mean, you give me money, but then you don't show up for our appointments. That's a responsibility on you.
Right.
Or you give me money and I offer tools or approaches for you, but you don't want to agree with anything I'm saying, then that's a lack of coachability, or maybe what we're doing isn't really what you need.
Mm-hmm.
I think the other thing that people have misconceptions about coaching is, I sort of look at therapy deals with your past
Mm-hmm.
and coaching deals with your future, your present and
Mm-hmm.
your future. So if you have problems that need therapy, I'm not a therapist.
Right.
And so I'm not going to help you unravel the therapy issues, your childhood issues or whatever, but I'm going to help you create the future. But you
Right.
have to work. And, there's also some reality in what you're wanting. There are a lot of people promising things, like you say, there are people going, we can take you from 0 to 6 figures in 6 weeks. For about 99.8% of the people, that's not realistic.
Right.
It
Right.
takes a lot of work to get to 6 figures. And
Right.
it probably not going to happen in 6 weeks.
Right. And the thing is, if it does happen in 6 weeks, that's a lot of work for you as a client to do. So it's not necessarily impossible, but if you're not willing to, get on it and stay on it, then
Yeah.
it's not feasible. So I'm glad we talked about this because I think a lot of people don't really understand what exactly a coach is,
Hmm.
what type of support they provide, what they can actually help you do, but also just understanding that not a one way thing, right? Even if they sign up for one of your programs tomorrow, there's still work that they have to do on their end as well. So I'm glad we talked about that, and this kind of gears perfect into my next question for you. Talk to me because I know I put your website below in the comments if anyone wants to check it out. But talk to me about maybe one of your most popular programs or your services and what that looks like in case anyone is interested.
Okay. Right now, and again, I'm building this after having
Mm-hmm.
a corporate career, so I'm still starting out with lots of things. I'm really focused on one-on-one coaching right now. So,
Mm-hmm.
again, that starts with a conversation. There's an invitation on my website. Let's have a conversation. And really, I offer one-on-one coaching from as short as 90 days to as long as a year. So,
Mm-hmm.
again, it kind of relates to, let's have a conversation. Let's get to know each other. Let me know you. What you want to do might be something that after we talk, I think, the best thing for you is, let's work together for 90 days. One,
Mm-hmm.
you can always renew it if you wanted to work together longer, or
Mm-hmm.
maybe there's something that's more complex or going to take longer. And I suggest, let's work together for 6 months, or let's work together for 9 months or a year. So it's really very customized to the person that's across from me.
Okay.
I do offer also just sort of short things that I usually post on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Masterclass, or I'm getting ready to offer a 15-day challenge. So they're easy investment, short term, It's a chance to get to know me. It's a chance to do some work on yourself and without making a huge investment. And then you can decide, hey, I'd like to follow this lady. I'd like to do some more with her. I'm working on developing a 6-month group coaching program that I'm
Mm-hmm.
going to launch in 2023. So that gives people an opportunity that maybe working in one-to-one isn't um, financially viable for them, but coming into a group where they're in a group and getting coached in a group with several other like-minded people is more of an option for them.
Right. And I want to touch on that really quickly because one of the things that I see, especially in our in the Black Women of Arizona Facebook group, a lot of women are wanting to connect with like-minded women, right? Other professional women or other women in entrepreneurship and things like that. And when we talk about the type of support that you provide, these are sort of the containers that you can become a part of to be around that space. Because and this might be a little bit of a different perspective, but when we talk about coaching, coaching is more than just you providing that space or holding space for them, right? If you're going into even if it's one-on-one or a group setting, being able to have a conversation with someone who understands the level that you're on and the level that you're trying to get to is important,
Yeah.
because when you have those types of conversations with just the random coworker, whatever, they might not be able to understand where you are and where it is that you're trying to go. So this is something that people who, oh, I need help with my business, I need a business mentor, I want to be connected with more women. This is how you do those things, guys. When you get into those containers with other women who are on the same frequency as you, who have a similar goal as you, and then you hold space for each other, right? You lean on each other. And Gina just comes in as sort of like an extra, you get what I'm saying? Like just a extra layer of support, because you've now created a space for those types of conversations to happen without the judgment, right? Without the guilt, without the limiting beliefs or the mindset issues. So for anyone who's watching this or who's going to be watching the replay, I want you to consider reaching out to Gina. Check out her website, check out her social media, and see how you can not only support her business, but how you can get support for where it is that you are now and where it is that you're trying to go. Because going back to the misconception thing, a lot of people want to believe that they can kind of do things on their own. Everyone needs somebody, right?
Yes.
I read a quote a few years ago that was saying even Beyonce has a coach, right? So all of those things, you don't get to that next level. You don't get to create that life that you want without having that type of support. You can't do it on your own.
You just made such a great point because we see these people in our world who are
Mm-hmm.
great at things.
Mm-hmm.
Beyonce as an entertainer, Oprah, in the world that she's created, sports figures. There is not a champion that does not have a coach, or
Right.
maybe more than one coach. I have a coach.
Mm-hmm.
I always had a coach. I'm in a group with other women. And as you were just saying, that group is so sacred. We can talk about the things that you can't talk to that person at work about.
Right.
We can cry in there.
Mm-hmm.
We can, let it all out in there. And that's what I want to create in the group program that I want to create. But I am brewing an idea because this is all,
Okay.
this is all about like, oh, now I have this idea. I want to start having just like some casual get together with ladies called Gatherings with Gina. So it
Mm-hmm.
could just be charcuterie board and wine night, but come
Mm-hmm.
and then come into that container and be yourself.
Right.
Come in that container and you can start expressing that stuff that you can't talk to a workmate about. You can
Right.
be a safe, loving, respectable place,
Right.
because that's how everyone I work with, whether they're paying $25 for something or thousands of dollars for something.
Mm-hmm.
My approach is always first love, respect, and no judgment.
Right.
Absolutely no judgment for wherever you are in life or what you've been through, um, in creating a place for that.
Right. Yeah. So I encourage you guys to check out her website. I also put her Instagram page below. Gatherings with Gina. I'm here for it. It sounds perfect.
I got to get in. I actually met, so me and another coaching partner that's in my coaching community had a
Hmm.
small retreat a couple of weeks ago.
Hmm.
And I met a fantastic Black woman who's a chef.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And I'm happy to share, if people who are doing events, happy to
Hmm.
share her information. She was fantastic. And I got to get back with her about how we can do it and finding a place to do it. And I am going to be at the event on the 22nd. So I'm looking forward to actually meeting you and lots of others in person.
Yes, I'm so excited. So, and see that's another point to what I was saying earlier. When you're in those types of containers, the list of resources that you now have access to expands, right?
Hmm.
Because now you've been able to find that chef, and now you can coordinate with her to get gatherings with Gina going, connect her with other people who are hosting events and things like that. So the a coaching community, when you have a good coach who cares about providing a safe and sacred space for you, it's more than just the takeaways of self-care. It's more than just the takeaways of your business and things like that. It's so much more that you have access to because of that community you're a part of. A lot of us are struggling with finding our community, but we're scared to invest to get into
Hmm.
that community, right? So, yeah, so be sure to check her out. Make sure to show your support to her. Um, I want to ask you, Gina, because I know I put your website and social media information down below. Um, how can people connect with you in case they're not on social media? Do you have like an email list or anything like that, or?
I don't have an email list yet. If they go to my website and
Mhm.
I offer a little freebie on there and they sign up for that, it'll give me their email. And I'm working on getting my email, my newsletter going. So I'll have their address. I have an email. I'm happy to share it. It's Gina Rena, which is GinaRena05 at Gmail.
Okay, so I'm gonna put that in the comments below in
Yeah, I
case
can't
anyone's
see them.
interested. No, it's okay. The people who are watching, if they're watching live or on the replay, they'll be able to see
Okay.
their email in the comments below. So we're about to wrap up, guys. I don't see any questions yet, but Gina, I want to ask you: do you have any closing remarks? Anything? Any last words for anyone watching or anyone who's going to be watching the replay?
I just like to say, just because I've lived it, I know you can create the life you want. And your work can be a part of that, whether you're a business owner or whether you're a corporate person. But you can create a full life where you're taking care of yourself, where you're taking care of the relationships that are important to you, where you are thriving and having fun and doing the things that you enjoy. People wait, people die before they get there.
Mm-hmm.
So what are you waiting for? You're waiting till once this happens or that happens. Stop waiting. Put yourself first. There's this story that women, especially if you're a mom,
Mm-hmm.
should be guilty for putting yourself first. But I'm not talking about putting yourself first in a selfish way. It's that concept. You can't pour from an empty cup. So if you're
Mm-hmm.
always putting other things and people first and you're last, you've got nothing to give.
You're right.
You deserve to take care of yourself and treat yourself well.
Right, absolutely. So just like we as women pour into other people, we deserve to be poured into as well.
Yes. And
So
invest in yourself.
right, right,
Investment in coaching or learning or growth or a book or whatever. It's an investment in you.
right, right. And you're worth that investment,
And
right?
you're
You're
worth
worth that investment, because if on the other side of that investment is, if it's, a healthier lifestyle, better boundaries, more time with your friends and families, why not, right?
it.
It's a
Right.
no-brainer at that point, right? So thank you so much, Gina, for
Thank
coming
you.
on and um, telling us about your business and your brand. Guys, I put all of her information in the comment section below. Be sure to check her out. We're always asking for different types of professionals around the valley. So we're highlighting these various businesses in the valley, so that way we can support those that are already in our community. So be sure to check her out. The replay will be available on Facebook, YouTube, and our website as well. But thank you so much, Gina. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, me too.
All right, guys. Well, thank you so much. I'll be back later on with another business that we'll be meeting today as well. So thank you so much, Gina. You have a good day.